Stonks.
Even though Rob Manfred seemingly and probably didn't want this to happen, opening day is actually coming up soon. There is a real set-in-stone date later in April. You only got a couple of the weeks canceled, but at least we're getting baseball after all. I know there's a lot of points this offseason over the last, I think it was like about 100-day lockout, 69 days into the year. Nice. But we're getting baseball nonetheless, and we're already getting some big-time moves happening in the league, and that's, of course, having some tremendous effects on baseball card stocks across the league. So it's time for us to take a look at some of the biggest ones here. Of course, I'm your host, Ross, joined alongside by the best and most important, and Ray, I'll throw in there, one of the better looking card experts in the entire sporting world, Ray Rodriguez, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Welcome back in. Welcome back in. I know you're a horrible Yankees fan, but we're still baseball fans, so that puts us on. That's something we could still relate to.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
No, you're just here to say 27 rigs every time you lose an argument. But that's
exactly. Hey, 27's 27, man.
It's more than the A's in the. When was the last time the A's even won? The 80s. Oh,
jeez. Was it?
Oh.
It was the Battle of the Bay. Was that the last time they won?
89, I think was the last series.
Something like that, yeah.
Something way before I was born. How about that?
Yeah.
And the A's, a little bit of poverty still. But I'm sure you've already seen some tremendous movements in the stock market, especially on the great, our version of the New York Stock Exchange, the almighty eBay. I'm sure you've been keeping a close tab on that one and probably seeing a lot happen.
Yeah, I mean, once the season was finally happening, I knew the free agent market was going to get back right where it left off. And it did. I mean, moves are being made almost every day now, so it's fun to watch. It's fun to see how the numbers change, and it's fun to see where players are going to end up.
Absolutely. It's a little bit of a fun guess game, especially if you're a Yankees fan, because you guys got the money to afford the best players ever. So there's no one the only reason the Yankees might not be in the market for someone is because they really just don't want them. So how's that feel as a fan?
I mean, it's kind of frustrating, honestly, because the Yankees were in the market for a shortstop. Instead of getting a big guy like, I don't know, Trevor Story or Carlos Correa, they get Isaiah Kiner, like Falefa. Who is that? You're the New York Yankees. Act like it. Be the evil empire. Just do it.
Be the one that just throws money at players and wins championships.
Yeah, everyone knows that they have money, so spend. It's frustrating. Yeah,
the greatest the greatest front office strategy in baseball history. Hey, I want that ring. Here's the money.
Dude, they can do it. They're the Yankees. And they just don't. They pick up an old has-been Josh Donaldson. I mean,
hey, A's legend Josh Donaldson, the destroyer of Manny Machado.
Oh my gosh. He's 30.
You remember those days?
Old. He's 37 years old, and they're giving him almost $50 million for a 2-year contract.
Shout out to Josh Donaldson's agent, man.
For real.
Maybe him and Kirk Cousins are ran by the same guy.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, man. Hey, remember the good old days where the A's sucked and the Orioles sucked, and then Josh Johnson and Manny Machado were trying to kill each other?
I do remember that. Those are fun. They weren't quite as Jose Bautista, Rougned Odor-esque, but it was pretty good.
I mean, you saw them flinging bats down the third baseline, just kind of trying to step on feet around the third.
Yeah.
The good little stuff.
All the fun grown man activities. Just children.
We need some more of that this season. But one of the first things we're going to talk about here, of course, we're going to get your prediction of the card that you should all get your hands on before the season actually starts. But first off, we're going to take a look at a bit of a market evaluation, because there's been a tremendous shift of talent in the league, and that is that after the A's dealt their first baseman, Matt Olson, one of the best home run hitters and one of the best fielders in the league, and a couple-time Gold Glove winner there at the corner. They trade him to Atlanta Braves. That's going to send Freddie Freeman elsewhere, guaranteed now. Maybe the Yankees, who knows? Or I guess the Dodgers, the other team that could afford just to throw money at people. But Matt Olson changing teams, obviously that's going to have an impact on his card's value. So, Ray, give us a lowdown of what we're looking at here, and are you surprised by the results as well?
Honestly, Matt Olson's cards, I mean, I knew they're going to go up, but they're going to keep going up until the season starts. Just a few days ago, March 10th, his rookie autograph sold for $37. And on March 14th, I think a day after or the day of the trade. What's today? 15th?
We're going on the 15th.
Yeah. So
a couple days later.
14th, same card sold for $60. So, I mean, almost double the price. And
that's pretty good, right?
Yeah, we're still a month away.
You're the expert.
Yeah, pretty good. Still like a little less than a month away from the season to actually start. They're not even playing any spring training games yet. So if he hits a couple home runs in spring training or anything, it's going to even go up more.
Probably going to hit some more moon shots just because. I mean, Matt Olson, really, he doesn't really hit them far. He's not the best home run derby kind of hitter because his balls go 1,000 feet up in the air and take forever to land, and they only go like 400 feet. It's kind of fun sometimes.
Hey, I mean, if it leaves the park, it all counts the same.
Exactly. There's nothing like a 45-degree angle on that
There you go. It's a wall scraper. All counts the same.
It's so good. Hitting, well, won't have the opportunity to hit his main balls off the sweet glass in the god-awful Oakland A's outfield anymore. So, of course, as an A's fan, it's a bit of a bummer. But, luckily they got a good return for talking just baseball here. But if you're a Matt Olson card holder before this trade, congrats to you. And do you think between now and the start of the season, is there still time to get on the market without, losing out?
I think so. Like just how I mentioned earlier, spring training hasn't even started yet. And if he, plays in spring training against, like some guys that aren't as refined as major league pitchers, he can get a few cheap home runs or hit a few line drives, and people are going to want to buy his card even more then. So you can still make a few bucks. Obviously not as big of a return as if you bought Matt Olson cards a couple weeks ago. But I think there's still money to be made.
Well, as long as there's money to be made, you better go get your hands on that one and make yourself some money. And speaking about money to be made, Ray, there's still plenty of players available, whether it be on the free agent market or whether it be through the trade market as well. So if you had to predict, whose card would you give like a big old recommendation to of who to pick up now? Because there's going to be a move this between now and the start of the season that's going to increase the value of that card.
I'm going to have to go with, it's a pretty obvious answer right now, Freddie Freeman. His team just signed a brand new first baseman. They already extended him as of today, March 15th. And right now, Freddie Freeman is still an Atlanta Brave, or I think he's actually just a free agent.
Just free agent.
But his two biggest targets right now are the Dodgers and the Yankees, which is the two biggest markets in all of baseball. So that means the biggest fan bases, the most possible buyers for his card. If you can buy his stuff now before he gets signed and he gets signed to one of those two teams, you're going to make money regardless. That's just how it works.
Which team do you think increases value more?
I don't know. I think the Yankees are known as a winning franchise, but as of late, the Dodgers have made it further into the playoffs, into the postseason. So it's a little tough to tell. But I think either team, there's going to be a really big boost in his market.
Absolutely. Now, do you think what do you think is going to have a bigger effect throughout this season? Would it be the name value of the team, like would it be the name value of the New York Yankees or the Los Angeles Dodgers, or would it be their season success that kind of weighs a little bit more?
I think their name value just saves it, because even like the Yankees didn't have that good of a year last year. but like, they're still the Yankees, so their stuff's still going to sell. Same thing with the Dodgers. As long as they're on the team, and even if you're the Yankees and you're in the playoffs for 3 hours, still, it's just going to boost this market.
Yep. So now it's time for you to get your hands on the Freddie Freeman card, just so he could sign with the Tampa Bay Rays, the second lowest payroll in all of baseball, and
oh god,
a team that manages to have a worse stadium than the Oakland Coliseum, and wanted to play baseball in 2 cities.
Just insane.
The Trop, more like the trash. I know. I'll pat myself on the back for that joke. I've been thinking about it for about 5 years now. I finally got it written. So, man, but I'm sure, just as baseball fans, how are you feeling about the season so far? You think, is it going to be a good year for I guess maybe you personally? Do you think, how do you feel about your current card collection? Are you looking a little bit optimistic on the season?
Right now, my current card collection is mainly either Hall of Famers or really young prospects. I don't have too many guys that are currently in the league. So, we'll see if there's a team that makes, let's say, a mid-season trade and a prospect gets traded to a bigger team, then their market could still go up. But I'm honestly just excited that baseball's back in general. And
amen. I could get behind that.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe I'll see a rookie that I like in spring training. I might pick up a few of their cards, and if they do well, then I might make some money off of it.
Hey, and no, you probably will make some money. It's not baseball related, but I gotta say, I'm gonna take a little bit of credit on this one too, because I guess I'm the UFC guy. Of course, you catch all of our UFC breakdowns weekly at thefourthlong.com/MMA. But I give you a little bit of insight about Song Yadong, bantamweight prospect, and he's been doing some good things for you as of his last couple fights.
Paid off. Got to take advantage of the media, Just I got the show right there on Spotify. Might as well listen, get some knowledge.
You mean Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcast?
Anywhere you get your podcast.
Oh, I love it. Also, Spotify. I'm sure you enjoy the video functionality on Spotify too, as well, occasionally.
It's great, just like on YouTube and on Rumble, video as well.
Yes, sir.
It's all great.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. But it's about that time, Raids. We all know what it's time for. It's time for Flex It Friday. And so we got baseball. What's that song? No flex zone. No flex zone. Oh, I can feel everyone clicking off right now. But
edit it out, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Nope. That's staying in there. But what card do we have to flex on this fine Friday?
All right, well, we were just talking about vintage baseball. I've got a 1957 Topps Yogi Berra.
Ooh, actual 1957.
Got to represent the Yankees, I mean, Yogi, he has an unbelievable amount of World Series rings, just like the rest of the Yankees organization.
Yeah, safe to say.
Yeah, that one's probably not going to ever leave my collection.
Mm-hmm. Now, just a little side note on that one. That one is graded at 4.5. Obviously,
just
what? Sorry, 4. That one's a 4. Of course, compared to new cards you can get, really 10 is the only thing you want. So, just a little bit of knowledge. We might have dropped this on the vintage show that we did a couple episodes ago. Go check that one out, thefourthlong.com. But for those that didn't catch that one, why does that grade might seem so low, but actually really not be that bad in reality?
I mean, it's from 1957, and you can just think about all the hands that could have touched this card, how dinged up it could have been. So, really anything, especially depending on the player, anything from a 2 to a 5 is pretty good. Anything above 5 is a really, really mint card.
Yeah, imagine if people actually realized the value that these cards would have back then. Probably perfect.
Oh yeah, especially now, like the care that people take of cards. I just can't imagine if someone, decided to throw a few Mickey Mantle rookies into a top loader and just set them aside in a nice, just climate controlled area. Just oof.
Oh,
And just lock them
jeez.
away and have only me know the coordinates in the future, just and just have so much money.
That's the idea. If you could go back in time, you just try to collect all the cards real quick and, just keep them perfect till this year.
All the cards, just completely selfish.
Just buy every bubblegum collection or every bubblegum pack,
Yep.
In the 50s.
Exactly.
That's awesome. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into another edition of Card Stonks. This one taking a look at a couple baseball-themed items as we get closer to the season. And you can bet, as the NFL season goes on, we'll get some more of those cards out for you. As MMA year-round. Not really off-season to go trade, but it's always a great time is what that means. So we'll have that out for you. We'll have some more baseball as the season goes on. And so the best way to stay tuned and stay up to date is, of course, subscribe to us on YouTube, Rumble. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that fun stuff. Bookmark thefourthalong.com. We stream everything to our site as well. And follow us on our Twitter and Instagram as well as follow Ray and his card collecting Instagram over at
card.collector.3.
It's a dot, very important. And also, Ray, huge shout out to the best baseball card monthly box, right? Shout out to the Bid Back box because they do it right. They absolutely do it right. There's always some, you see on their Instagram, there's always some really, really nice pulls in those monthly subscriber boxes.
Oh yeah, I'm really happy that people are so happy with the product that we put out. We work really hard,
especially in Pokemon cards too, right?
Yep. We also have a Pokemon product as well. Investments be made everywhere.
Just like card collecting, gotta catch them all.
I like it.
Yeah, it kind of works. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. We'll see all of you in the next edition of Card Stonks.